Welcome back, basketball fans. Welcome back. So, in that time of the season where every game matters, so far we have two teams that have been eliminated: the New Orleans Pelicans from the East, they are the ninth seed. The OKC Thunder took care of them. Josh Giddey, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, three-pointers made, as you can see on the screen. I made sure the graphics are there so you can check out all those four games and the results and the players that showed up because man, it's that time of the year where every game, every possession matters, and it's the play-in tournament before you head on to the playoffs. So far we have the second seeds, or the not the second seeds, the seven seeds already locked in. So the Lakers and the Wolves they played the seven and eight seeds. So the Lakers, the seventh seed, they maintained their seventh seed status, and they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves to get into the playoffs. So the Lakers are going to be matching up with the Memphis Grizzlies, and on the other, that's on the West, and on the East, you could see the Miami Heat matched up with the Atlanta Hawks. You can say the Atlanta Hawks got their revenge, the sweet revenge that they suffered at the hands of the Miami Heat in the first round, and they got beaten 5 games, but they managed to secure the seventh seed, and they'll be matching up with the Boston Celtics. So what's left right now is the eighth seed. So it's going to be determined by the losers from the seventh and eighth seed matchup. The Miami Heat have a go again against the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls just eliminated the Toronto Raptors. So that's actually pretty interesting. And the OKC Thunder versus the New Orleans Pelicans. You can see the OKC Thunder, that team is just hungry. They just need to, just get into that situation where they can be able to like at least keep their playoffs hopes alive, and they have. So this is actually pretty interesting. It was actually fun to watch these games, especially as a Laker fan. I'm so happy we are in the playoffs. I remember I made a tweet earlier in the season when we went 0-4-5, and I just felt like the Lakers didn't have what it takes to be able to get to that level to contend in the playoffs. Given the way the roster was constructed at the time, I wasn't confident with our chances of making the playoffs. But Rob Pelinka, the Lakers front office and the coaching staff did a tremendous job, especially the trade deadline, offloading Russell Westbrook and also trading away a couple of pieces. Getting some pieces, especially from that Wolves team, and it's something like a poetic injustice. It's just so poetic to see like the team that we got some assets. We got D'Lo back, Malik Beasley, Jay Vanderbilt. We got them from the Wolves, and in the play-in, we played against the Wolves. So that was actually pretty interesting to see. And the Lakers did not disappoint, and especially this game going into overtime. AD fouled. AD fouled. I can't remember who he fouled, but there was a three free throws that was supposed to be made, and it was just it was a game that was actually pretty interesting to see, especially looking at the way the Lakers have been, having that playoff push. And AD, he fouled last final seconds, and the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to tie the game on the line, and went to overtime. The Lakers did not disappoint. They actually scored 10 points in that overtime, and they held the Minnesota Timberwolves to 4 points alone. So that was actually a good sign. And looking at the game again, the Atlanta Hawks versus the Miami Heat, Trae Young, the franchise player. I know the Hawks have had a lot of turmoil, especially looking at during the season. They fired the coach Nate McMillan, if I'm not wrong. They were struggling. They were not able to like get some consistent games under their belt, but they were able to like pull it together in this play-in tournament, and they stole the seventh seed from the Miami Heat. So that's actually pretty good. You see Trae Young, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He just did what he had to do, especially being the franchise player and beating the Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat. So that's actually pretty good to see. And even looking at the Toronto Raptors side, they were supposed to defend home court. They couldn't. Actually, I saw a time during the game they actually blew a lead. And it was very concerning because looking at the way the roster is constructed currently, I don't think that they are going to contend for years. You can see there's obviously some frustration with Fred Van Vliet, being in a situation where he can't, contend. I know after Kawhi Leonard took them to the NBA Finals, they have not been able to create a stronger side to get them back there, and I don't think they're gonna go back there at all. So they're out of the playoffs, out of playoff contention, and the surprising team, the Chicago Bulls. I know the Chicago Bulls lost in the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks, but who really wanted such a matchup to happen? It's either the Bulls or the Miami Heat. So the Bulls, in this case, they just made some quick work on them Toronto Raptors, especially being in Canada. The Bulls away, they stole that road win, led by Zach LaVine's 39 points, six rebounds. He played a pretty good game. But the game that was actually pretty interesting to watch was the OKC Thunder game versus the New Orleans Pelicans. That game actually was pretty interesting to see. And it was just two young core teams, like two teams who have very good young cores, just duking it out on a good basketball, just making sure they just leave it all on the floor, and which they did. And my God, I can just say Sam Presti is just smart. He's a guy that is contending while rebuilding. So he's just one of the best GMs out there, because the 2019 they traded away PG and Russell Westbrook, and they just they have a slew haul of first round picks so to play around. And considering the fact that OKC are a team that drafts pretty well, and that's why they drafted Josh Giddey, I mean, they just know how to get good players who can be able to get to that next level. And also the emergence of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man, that brother is just spectacular. Like, that guy is just good. And sometimes I just look back and look at that OKC Clipper trade with the OKC sent PG to the Clippers, and the Clippers got Shea, Danilo Gallinari, and also a slew haul of picks. So I feel like for some odd reason, with the Clippers not winning the championship, I feel like OKC won the trade if the Clippers don't win the championship. So yeah, I mean, that's just a side note there, but it's actually a good thing to see two teams, these teams, like, just playing in, just putting everything out there, and just playing a good game. The game that was actually pretty exciting to see was the OKC versus Pelican games. I know I'm a Lakers fan, but that game was just down to the wire, especially Brandon Ingram. I know there was a play that they turned over the ball last final minutes, but I mean, it is what it is. Those mistakes happen during games, which is okay. But considering the fact that that game was a must-win game for like the New Orleans Pelicans, they tried everything, but it didn't work. But it was such a good matchup. Honestly, it was a great matchup. But that game was actually pretty interesting. I watched it this morning, and I must say it was actually good. So the next games that you're gonna see, you're gonna see the OKC Thunder versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get Rudy Gobert back. Rudy Gobert, he got suspended. He had that altercation at the bench, so he wasn't able to suit up for the Laker game. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna suit up for the OKC game. And OKC versus Minnesota Timberwolves. So we just have to wait and see how Kat and Rudy Gobert are going to fare in there. And also we have the matchup again in the East. Pretty good match, pretty good game again. Bulls Heat, Jimmy Butler's Heat versus Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan Bulls. I mean, I just can't wait to see that game. I don't even know who to pick right now, because, man, it's just pretty difficult. But, of course, I'm going to pick a team. Of course, I'm going to pick a team. I'm going to pick for the team to lock in the A seed. I'm a pick the Minnesota Timberwolves. I feel like they have they have some playoff experience in there, not like this iteration of the OKC Thunder. I feel like the OKC Thunder since 2019, 2020, they haven't made some serious playoff noise, especially without CP3 being there. But I'll give the nod to the Minnesota Timberwolves because I feel like they have enough star power to get to the eighth seed. And the Bulls and Heat, I'm gonna just give the nod to the Miami Heat. Of course, I don't want to be biased against the Bulls, but I feel like the Heat know what they need to do. That's if they're able to click in well, but it's just 50-50. I'm not sure. If Zach LaVine tries to prove me wrong, I'll just accept it because I ain't got no horse in here because I'm a Laker fan and I'm going to, root for I'm going to root for the Heat. I'm just waiting to see if this video is gonna stand the test of time. Psych! You actually thought I'm gonna pick the Heat? Nah, of course I'm gonna pick the Heat. I'm gonna pick the Heat to go there because I feel like they have like they have the guys to do it, and if they can get a revenge game against they can get and have a revenge game from the loss they've suffered against the Atlanta Hawks, who stole their seventh seed. I feel like they can lock in the eighth seed. The Bulls, I'm not sure. They're the 10th seed. Okay, the seeding doesn't matter, but all I'm saying is it can be anybody's game. But I'm gonna ride with the Miami Heat. So yeah, I'll be popping up with such videos. I'll be waiting to see how the playoffs matchups begin. Especially, I'll take a closer look at the Lakers and Grizzlies and the Warriors Kings series because I feel like if the Warriors were able to meet the Grizzlies, it's just gonna be great. I know I don't want the Grizzlies to win because I'm a Laker fan, but honestly, I mean this playoffs is just gonna be quite interesting, and the Nets Sixers can't wait for that as well. Celtics Hawks, I mean that's actually pretty good. Clippers Suns, I'm pretty sure some people are saying like the Clippers are going to beat the Suns. The Suns are gonna beat the Clippers because they got KD. We just have to wait and see. The Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks. I'm gonna give the nod to the Cavaliers because I feel like they have the team to do it. Of course, the first seeds, the Milwaukee Bucks, are gonna beat any team that's gonna be in the first round with them, and also the Denver Nuggets. I feel like they're gonna be a short series, and yeah. So if you guys like the video, leave your feedback down in the comment section down below on what you think about these playoffs, the play-in tournament so far. I'll be popping up with videos like this, and yeah, I'm out. Peace.